It is a blistering hot day in Durban and the surfers are out. Just outside of the surfing paradise lies the South Durban residential basin. Here, children's playgrounds are shadowed by industrial giants, and the smell of rotten eggs pollutes the air. What we smell, though, is a concoction of about 100 chemicals that are discharged by the refineries every day. This toxic concoction is what the Wentworth community breathes in daily, and reports have indicated that there are very high levels of asthma, cancer, and leukemia in the area.
People from outside, they're not used to it, but they can smell it kind of. And like if we go out and we come back, you know when you're in Wentworth, you just smell the air.
It smells terrible. It's something like it's rotten.
And what is the community doing about it?
We can't do nothing. They say it's not their fault that we are here.
The South Industrial Basin consists of various industries which produce and expel a lot of toxins into the air. The Merebank residential area has been here since 1950s. Industries have started to develop at about the same time. The major pollutant industries or polluting industries are the oil refineries, and we have Engen, which is in the midst of this community, and SAPREF, which is approximately 700 meters away from the nearest residential area. Besides that, we have the Mondi paper industry, the Southern Sewage Works, and a host of other minor chemical industries within this industrial basin.
Sometimes I can't breathe properly, so I have to breathe through my mouth. My chest gets tough and I can't, sometimes when I cough it's very sore. Then I get the fever and I feel very ill, I can't walk.
The family just suffers endlessly. You know, we've got to be buying medicines all the time.
But look at my child, what it looks like. We don't know where the gas come from, what? Look at the child is sick. You getting asthma attacks here, the little children? What are you going to do? What is the Engen doing for us?
The Rainbow Barracks consist of rows of brick houses which resemble a chicken factory, hence the name. It was constructed over 40 years ago as a temporary measure to house shack dwellers who were forcibly removed from Cato Manor in the 60s and 70s. However, alternative housing never materialized, and this community have been living here for 35 years. The barracks is right over the road from the Engen oil refinery, and the community has been subject to high levels of pollution and regular fires. The impact on their health has been dire, and most of the children suffer from chronic asthma and respiratory disease. We have been recording these issues over the past 10 years.
SAPREF releases their fumes on us at night and Engen. We just want something to be done about this. They're not investing in our communities. And we're tired of our children getting sick.
My child has been born with asthma, and you know there's so much pollution in this place that every time I have to go to a hospital, found the ambulance at night.
The pollution is dead here in this parish. They're going to kill us all. We live here 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. We still live like this here. Our children will suffer. That's it. Our children will suffer. What are you doing for us? We don't know.
There's many people die with cancer here in Wentworth. I can say, I don't know, I can't count them. Really. Lung cancer, all those sort of things.
The air is totally saturated with toxins, and the toxins that we are referring to are mainly the sulphur dioxides, the nitrous oxides, particulate matter, and carbon monoxide. These are the big ones. There are various other pollutants within the area, and a major one is benzene also. In practice, we have also seen that newborn infants, newborn children, within the first few months of living in the area tend to develop wheezing. And it's always been our concern that why should these children who are not yet wheezers, who are not even grown up, the lungs have not even matured, but suddenly develop wheezing, particularly when they are Merebank. But yet if the parents are out of the area, those children are very well.
I've got a 10-year-old son that's now on chronic medication because of the area that I live in. And when I had him taken and checked to specialists, they said to me it's actually the pollution that we're exposed to.
The other effects that we see here are in relationship to nasal allergies, sinusitis, as well as a very high and unusual incidence of skin irritations, skin eczemas, skin itches.
This year, if you look at him, just came up last week, which I had to take him for medication for as well. It's an allergy. They said he's on Allergex. He's got a ointment that he's got to rub 2 or 3 times a day, and that's actually caused because also of the pollution.
My advice to the communities is that should there be any person within the family already severely adversely affected by pollution in terms of lung disease or any form of malignancy or chronic ailment, look for alternative means to move out of the area, because in the long term you are going to be suffering the consequences. Then nobody, and I must tell you right now, nobody is going to come to your help when the need arises.
My name is Engen. I'm the principal of Settlers Primary, and we are situated in the valley, the Merebank Valley, popularly known as the South Durban Basin. Regrettably, we are surrounded by major industries, particularly the petroleum industries, SAPREF and Engen. We have as our neighbors the giant paper people, Mondi, the Southern Sewage Works, and we are actually barricaded by these major industries in the sense of pollution. Our southern boundary also is the Durban International Airport, closely linked to the Southern Freeway. Unfortunately, we are subject to a cocktail of pollutants emitted by these industries, and we also have a problem in terms of the health of our pupils. I say that if we were in a cleaner environment, our pupils would not be suffering from these health problems, particularly respiratory and bronchial problems. There was a study done by the University of Michigan, particularly Professor Tom Robbins, who has come and done some research in terms of pollution in Merebank, particularly at our school. And what is alarming and is of concern to us as educators is that we have a serious asthma problem in school. And it has been established temporarily that the major factor in the aggravation of this asthma is due to these pollutants.
Benzene levels were found to be 2 to 5 times higher than a busy 5-lane freeway in Detroit, Michigan, USA, in peak hour. And one must place this in context again, that there is no freeway near this particular school where the research was done.
There's also a feeling from industry that the pollution in the Durban South Basin cannot be attributed solely to SAPREF and Engen and others, Mondi, etc. There's also the question of diesel fumes. There's also the question of petrol fumes, because it's in a highly concentrated area. We have accepted those statements on face value, and our studies would reveal whether the impact of the pollution and the pollutants in that area extends beyond major industry and can be attributed to other factors in that area.
Are you telling me that in these little residential areas in South Durban, there are 4-lane highways? There's not. So you can't blame vehicular traffic there. In America, it's clear. It comes from the vehicles. 4-lane highway.
A decade later, and after the government made a promise to bring down the emissions to international standards, we have returned to the Barracks community to find the same people we interviewed back in 2002.
Okay, my baby's about 4 months now. From the time I brought him home, 3 weeks into the time he came home, he started wheezing. And when I took him to his pediatrician, he said it's nothing to worry about, it's just his sinuses echoing into his chest. So I didn't worry. In the past 3 weeks, he's been hospitalized twice with the respiratory virus.
Yeah, my child's got sores on the head, which he's never had. He's never been born with it. But today you treat it, it goes away for that time, it comes right back again. And at the moment, as you can see, they started all over again.
Due to Engen.
Due to the pollution, and we are relocating. They are taking us from pollution back to pollution.
It's due to what they're letting out at night when we're sleeping. That's what's causing these children to have all these sores. We don't know, but you just see black smoke every night here, clouding us. That's why the people are all full of asthma here through Engen.
The Engen refinery is the largest oil refinery in Durban, as well as one of the 2 largest sources of sulphur dioxide pollution in South Durban. The Barracks community has been living across the road from the Engen oil refinery and have been exposed to high levels of petroleum-related pollution, which are only exacerbated by the many fires that have occurred over the years.
Engen's actually got a fire every year during the shutdown. Yeah, they had a small one now in the shut. It wasn't a major one, but they've had a fire this year. No, they're relocating us now. After their 30th fire, they're relocating us to Jacobs.
It soon becomes apparent that while the health issue is always high on this community's agenda, there is a much more pressing issue that they are dealing with right now. They tell me that Engen has, after 30 years of abuse, declared their small neighborhood an industrial hazardous site and has put in plans to relocate this community to another area. I had no knowledge of this planned removal and arrived within days of their eviction notice. As a filmmaker who has come to ask their permission to tell their story, I am faced with an ethical dilemma, for I have a specific plan to finish the story I started over a decade ago. But no matter how much I try to steer the conversation back to the purpose of my film, this is not what these community members want to speak about.
Yeah, the main issue here is mainly the overcrowding of the housing. There's like 3, 4, 5 families in one house. And in that family you get, it's mother, father, it's children. Then you get the brother with his wife and their children, and you get that brother. It's quite a lot. And it's also causing a lot of problems. That's our main concern in this community here. It's more than the pollution, it's mainly the overcrowding. Although pollution does play a big role as well, but it's mainly the housing situation. That is our main concern and our main struggle. They're relocating us from here. They're saying they're taking us to a better place, but we're going to an industrial area where there's even more pollution as well. So it's like there's no difference about it.
I have no choice now but to follow their story, for they are not my subjects to be manipulated and forced into dropping the very thing that is causing them great anxiety, for the sake of a white filmmaker who has become a virtual stranger to them over the last decade. It occurs to me that the story of pollution and the story of poverty, overcrowding and forced removals are one and the same story, for it is the story of people of colour in South Africa who were forced to live downstream, downwind and across the road from industrial complexes.
Where they actually locked me up and so forth. They locked me up. My wife was pregnant in this whole thing and they shot at the crowd.
They did?
Yes. Read this line. You read from here.
If they don't want the houses, then let them go to hell.
That's now a message.
Sign up! Sign up! Sign up! All of you sign up! But what are they eating? Who's eating this money of our people? Who's eating our money? Why you don't come and upgrade my home? Upgrade my home and make my home a better place. I'm happy here.
The Barracks community consists of about 500 people. In some cases, as many as 15 people live in one dwelling. Now they are being moved from 59 square meter houses to 49 square meter flats that will not provide the same space for extended families. Many of them will have to get rid of a lot of their furniture and squeeze 3 generations into one tiny apartment.
With 36 years, yeah. It's a major problem. Now, they never did a survey to say, well, right, how many people are living here. Like, at the moment, there's 110 families, but there's about 500 people, meaning some families got 3 families in one house. And then another thing, they never take the sizes of the houses. What they built is smaller, meaning they built 128 units. 110 families from the barracks is going there, and then 8 from the Ark is moving into there. Okay? And then the 10, the balance, we hardly was selling the balance of the flats. How can you sell when we overcrowd? You build something smaller piece of land, you take the whole barracks into there, smaller piece of land. With flats, we used to have houses, they take us to flats. Everybody knows flats breed crime.
And again, from one polluted area to another polluted area. We are down in a residential industrial area in Jacobs. There's a lot of pollution, and so as much as Engen says they're doing this for us and they invested money to help build those flats for us, they're really not doing us any favors.
Okay. Thanks, Michelle.
They got that threat to say, well, they pulled housing down these places. Yeah. So what happens to the rest of the families?
We're going to make sure they demolish nothing. Because what they built for us is low-cost houses. We don't want those low-cost houses, and we're still not moving out of here. We'll go down there, but we're leaving parts of our families here, because our families are big.
ANC is the biggest liars in this whole earth. Because why they're stealing my land from so much to put me in a congested place.
To a prison.
To a prison. It looks like what you call it, Westville, small Westville. Yeah, they want to throw me in Westville prison, and then they want to tax me to death. And me, I'm living here, I can pay his
36
cents.
Years. 36
but 36 years I was paying.
Alan drives us to the new flats. On the outside, the flats look decent, but Alan assures us they are not. We are not allowed into the premises because of the fear of protest action, a point that was not missed by members of the neighborhood.
I'm very scared to welcome those neighbors because I've seen them demonstrate what they are capable of just 2 weeks ago with the police. And so I've spoken to a few barracks people and they said we mustn't paint everybody with the same brush. In fact, we didn't want to have the barracks here. We didn't want because of what takes place there in the barracks. But I've spoken to quite a few people and they said it's not the people from the barracks, it's people outside of the barracks that come in and perform there in their place. Because there's been shooting with guns and all that there, so who won't be scared? And we're not used to that type of thing. People have put up high walls here and they've fenced themselves up, all getting prepared for the barracks. Alan doesn't want to talk to me.
No, I'm going to talk to you.
Okay, speak to. Yes, I've spoken my mind, and why I've spoken my mind is because I've seen what they did just 2 weeks ago. They jumped over those fences because the security didn't want to open for them. So I thought, oh gosh, is this the type of people we're going to be living with? You were here. So who won't be frightened? We're not used to this jumping over fences and police and squad cars and all that type of thing.
We're overcrowded in the barracks at this moment. These houses are small. You all know the problem that we're facing. So we had some people paid 10,000 for our flats and are moving in before us, meaning there's 28 units, 110 for the barracks, 8 for the ARC, and a 10 free that's supposed to be for the barracks people now because we're overcrowded. They're selling it. So we are these people. That's why we came down here to really see what's happening. We actually came to see. And then we came with our blankets and so forth to say, well, if you don't hear our story, we're going to move in by force. And you don't blame us. We're overcrowded, and they're threatening us to say, well, they're going to demolish our place. Let me tell you, we weren't happy about this move. They forced it on us. You'll remember when we were toying from the word go, when there's nothing here. We told them we don't want this place. From shoebox to matchbox, it went in a paper and so forth. People never hear our cry.
So are those angry people going to come here? Are they happy with these houses? Are we going to be stuck with this angry people?
If you meet the people, it's mostly elderly people.
A week later, we receive a call to say that the move is happening.
This is the place where the barracks lived, barracks stood up until a week ago. The barracks was built as a transit camp in 1972, and a week ago the eThekwini municipality, which had promised people a better life and better housing and improving the quality of life, forcibly removed people down to Lansdowne Road and destroyed the barracks with their bulldozers. As you see, the bulldozers are there. It was very traumatized because people weren't, there was not meaningful consultation and discussions with the people in the barracks, nor was there any notification a month in advance that they were going to be moving. Instead, they came in on the night before and the next day and pushed people out and threatened them and traumatized people. And up until today, people are still traumatized by the manner in which their homes were destroyed. It reminded some of those families, you'll bear in mind, were products of forced removal. They came from areas of Cato Manor, from Durban and other parts of Durban and the Transkei and Johannesburg. And it reminded them of how the apartheid government had forcibly removed them from those areas. Once again, they did not expect that the democratic government would use such brutalized force on them and destroy their furniture in their quest to get rid of the barracks.
Our next visit reveals a community suffering from shock and depression.
As you move out, the guys is red ants or whatever they're called. They were already demolishing the roofs, drilling holes into the walls, taking the chunks out of the walls. You getting me? A block finished, they drill into it, and it was a sad sight. They never considered that people's memories, children got born there. Our life, you know what I'm saying? That was it's like a legacy, that place. Right, never mind it went down to what it looked like, but the way they treated us was all totally wrong.
We had policemen, we had the bulldozers, we had metro cops surrounding the whole community, but that was so emotional. When they told us we got to get our things out, they're coming to move us. And we said, how could y'all give us such short notice? It was That morning, the community said, we are not moving. All hell can break loose. We're not getting out of here. That's when they decided to call more backups of metro cops and the SAP policemen. And, the people didn't know what to do. They knew now. We are facing reality. The day has come where we have to get out. Some people weren't ready, some people were. It was so sad. We had to sell our furniture. I only arrived the Monday because I still had to get rid of my dogs.
No sooner have we arrived when residents call us into their flats to show us the endless problems that they are experiencing with windows, leaking geysers and faulty doors. The list of problems seems endless.
It's leaking all over. Yeah. Sit there.
Yeah, what has happened? They never waterproofed the top.
Yeah.
So what's happening? The water's coming down through the walls. The geysers are leaking. The water's coming through. All the flats is doing that. All.
Not all.
You go to every house, you see everything.
Yeah.
All the flats is like that, man.
Oh my God.
Slowly, it's like the water can see there.
Oh, do that again.
Look what they built for the people.
My
That's
God.
unfair, that thing.
When I do washing over here, and I rinse in the pot because I haven't got the tap yet, and in this area here gets full, I have to open up here and scoop the water because as you can see, the water is still wet. It's coming right through into the children's room, and it's going down next door, and it's affecting them and the light box where they put their lights in.
You can see even they actually drilled a hole. You can see they made a hole over there for the water to drain out. And with the water standing for so long, it made a mildew and all stained the whole wall over here. And the water actually ran behind the paint. Now it made like a bubble with the moisture. It's not holding on to the wall anymore. So it's all hollow.
We had to sell all our furniture, throw our furniture away. Our wardrobes, everything. Now our clothes in boxes now at the moment. All our and our children's clothes in boxes, and it's about 3 of sleep in the lounge. The 3 grandchildren sleep in the lounge. Come and see. This is my mom. When she came on the 8th to see this place here of March, and on the 11th of March she got a stroke of seeing this place, how small this place is, and she's thinking about the grandchildren and the children, where they're going to live and where they're going to sleep. See, all the boxes are full. On top, there's the beddings and everything is on top over here, on top of the wardrobes.
I want to go to hospital.
But we knew from word go that these houses are too small for us.
The place is very small for a wheelchair.
Why didn't they organize? Did they know that there were people on wheelchairs?
They know from the beginning. And to that come here, I tell them the same thing. As the boys was here, I tell them the same thing. They never do nothing. Nothing at all.